This time on the Blackhawk Serpa retention holster. And like, if you've been following my videos at all, you know that the only pistol I own right now is a Glock 32, which is the same frame size as the Glock 19 or the Glock 23. If you're into the 9mm 40 S&W or 357 SIG like me. So you can see before anybody complains, the gun has been safety checked. It's empty. Magazine is empty. No ammo around here. Anyways, on to the holster. I love this holster. For 20 or 30 bucks, I do not think that you are going to get more in a holster for open carry than you will from this holster right here. I don't even know where to start. It's made out of some sort of plastic or polymer, very lightweight, tough enough that you're going to be fine unless somebody walks up and hits you in the hip with a baseball bat, but if that happens, you've got bigger problems anyways. Basically, excuse the noise here. If you don't know what a Blackhawk is, basically when your pistol fits into this holster, pretty much no matter what you do or how you hold it, it's locked in by this locking mechanism right here that works very well. And what it does is it makes it so that in order for you to draw the pistol, you have to push that button down. So if somebody doesn't know and comes up behind you and tries to draw your pistol, or maybe let's say you're riding an ATV or doing something active, your gun's not going to come out of the holster without their finger being alongside that button. And basically you just press down on the button, and it's harder to do when it's not attached. But as you draw it, it actually leaves your finger right alongside the trigger guard instead of being over the trigger or even inside the trigger guard where you would never want it to be. So I think that's a really good habit builder, and I've actually found that since I've bought and started wearing the Serpa, even when I'm wearing my concealed holsters or other holsters, that habit carries over with me, and I'm starting to find that I draw with my finger right alongside the gun where it needs to be more and more. Speaking to that retention strap, sorry, I got a text message. It's adjustable by this screw you see right here. And if you have one of these, when you're adjusting it, be very careful to test it after each tiny little turn, because it acts very quickly. If you turn it to the left just a little bit, this thing will be so loose that just laying your finger on it lightly, you can draw the gun out. You turn it just a little bit to the right, you have to push with all the force you have to get that gun out. So that's nice that it's customizable, but you've really got to be careful with how you adjust that screw. On the back here, you can see that, well actually, I guess first I should mention, it comes with 3 components, which is this actual holster right here, then the paddle that you can attach to the back of it, or an alternate belt loop here. I prefer the paddle personally just because it's faster on and off, and I don't know, just never really liked the belt loop things. I feel like this only covers so much of your hip, so it can kind of wobble around a little bit more, whereas this paddle has a very big surface area, holds the gun in there relatively smoothly. I apologize about the lighting, but as you can see here, there's kind of 3 different positions that the screws can go into in each of these 3 holes. So that allows you to cant the holster, where it can be tilted, away from you, towards you, or straight up and down. My kind of philosophy on this is I always have it canted all the way forward. Obviously this is right hand carry side for my body, so I have that holster tilted so that the gun is, excuse me for 1 second while I click this in, canted as far forward as possible instead of being straight up and down. And I've really got 2 reasons for that. One is so that if anybody comes up from behind you and tries to draw, they have a much farther distance up and around they have to go before they can grip that pistol. Whereas if it is just straight up and down, there's not very far they have to go to get their hand comfortably on your pistol and start attempting to draw it. Of course, it's not ideal that someone's trying to do that anyways, but it happens. And for you, when it's on your body, canting it like that is actually not that much of a change. Also, this means that when you sit down, whether you like it or not, your hip's going to rotate a little bit. So when you have it canted forward like this and you sit down, the pistol's in a vertical position. If it's in a vertical position to begin with and you sit down, it's going to be very far back and very hard for you to draw. Why would you want to be able to draw from a seated position? I don't know, maybe you're in your car, you're sitting down at a restaurant, there's a lot of different times. So that's just my thought there on that. And basically I found this to be a very customizable, great fitting, very cheap holster, perfect for open carry. And I feel like there's one more thing. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you. This is you see this cutaway here, where the holster's cut out right here instead of coming all the way up to the top. That's actually so that when you draw the gun, as you draw it out of the holster, you don't have to clear the top of the holster before you can rotate and start defending yourself. Actually, from inside the holster, you can start to come away and come out to defend yourself, which is, again, not ideal or not what you'd ever want to have to do, but in a true life or death defensive situation, those extra couple milliseconds could be the difference between life or death. So yeah, sorry this has been kind of thrown together last second. I'm in the middle of exams at school, kind of out of it, but I thought this would be a nice break and kind of an interesting video since this is such a popular holster. I recommend getting one, though I do have to say a caveat: you're not going to get a heavy jacket or something over it, even on the belt loop here. You're not going to be able to carry it concealed. It just comes away too far from your body. It's not inside the pant. This angle just reminded me, I forgot to say this. It actually has a very, very, very good retention system with these big hooks. 2 of them right here, and a 3rd one on the bottom there. It's hard doing my own camera work, that hook right there. And these are fully adjustable for whatever size belt you have. You can move them up or down within these holes, and it's very simple to change. All you need is a flathead screwdriver. You're good to go. But these will hook up under your belt, and this hook right here will actually hook the bottom of your pants and kind of push them up under. I found that even knowing how to get this holster on and off, no matter how hard I try, without undoing my belt, I have a very hard time getting this off my body. So someone in the heat of the moment trying to take your gun away from you, or you bouncing around on a 4-wheeler or doing whatever you're doing active, this gun's not going to come off. Great holster. Highly recommended. Probably for open carry only, though. Hey again, I didn't feel like I was being very clear before when I was talking about the cant of this gun, but this is what I mean, is that it's angled forward on my hip instead of being straight up and down. For me, that's not a big deal to go ahead and draw, but for someone trying to come up behind me, instead of being able to reach for a vertical gun, they've got to go that much farther to reach for the gun that's been tossed over, which also makes it a lot harder for them to actuate that button, like I was talking about. And also just to kind of demonstrate how well these hooks work. No matter how hard I like or fast I try to jerk this or pull it around, it may slide around my belt or pull my pants up or down, but the holster's locked in, the gun's locked in, nothing's happening until my finger comes on that button. And you can see that every time I draw, it leaves my finger right alongside the trigger guard and not dangerously over it or inside of it. So that when I'm drawing and I'm in a bad situation, I have the choice of when to put my finger on the trigger and when to keep it alongside the gun, so that in the heat of the moment, like police have done before, I don't accidentally end up pulling the trigger just from adrenaline rush. That's really all I can think to say about it right now. It's just a great holster. I really enjoyed it for open carry and just for a more comfortable way to carry my gun around the house. Because I do believe in staying armed, even when you're at home. You never know what's going to happen. You can either have your gun and not need it, or need your gun and not have it. I'd rather do the first. Thanks for watching. Oh god, hey. That was a 40. Hey. What do you think, assholes? That's it!